I want you to unpack this hyperbolic discounting because I think it's very important as a concept, a behavioral concept for people to understand with regards to internal motivation or internal drivers with regards to sustainable change.
Yeah, so there's been substantial work done. Some of the most interesting work was done by a colleague at Yale with people at Discovery many years ago. And they did a very simple questionnaire, which went out to many members of Discovery across many insurance groups. And the question was a well-known question. If we give you $100 today, will you take it, or will you wait a month and we'll give you $150 or $180? Now, given that this is the only time you were asked that, the rational response would be to wait, and just wait, and then you're going to get a lot more money. About 15 to 20% of people opt for the short-term solution, give me the money now. So then the analysis was very interesting. Those people really were where all the obesity occurred, where the smoking rates were higher, where credit card repayments were worse, where mortgage repayments were most vulnerable, suggesting that people who generally have a more short-term perspective have a range of other behaviors that are against their long-term best interest. And that was the underlying logic that was behind helping them get over that inertia to actually do something that'll be positive. Now, the question is, how sustainable is that? And you're talking about internal versus external. This is an external incentive. Well, does it still need to be internalized? There've been recent work showing that looking at people who got large incentives for healthy behavior, particularly for activity. This is not a Discovery study. And the incentives reduced or actually went away. What happened to them? Did they all revert back to where they were? And the good news was no. Once people had entrenched their behavior as part of their habit, part of their lifestyle, part of the way that actually made the fundamental changes to realizing and enjoying and appreciating doing activity, healthy eating, and so on, it actually stuck. So it did have a high degree of stickiness, but it did take some time before they got achieved. And I think that's the other point, is that some of these behaviors we're expecting people to take are very, very tough from many points of view. So we went out also, again, another vitality study that we took 100,000 people in the US, and they were given an incentive to increase their steps by some modest amount, a few thousand a day. We knew they'd all increase them, or that wouldn't be difficult because they got an incentive for it. The question was, once they've increased their steps, are they more likely to go on to the more complex areas of behavior like weight management, smoking cessation, preventive screening? And the answer was yes, by a large amount, suggesting that when we throw all of this advice at patients who may be overweight and smoking and not active and expect them to do it all at once, we're going to fail. You have to take them through the journey, and the journey often starts easiest with increasing your physical activity modestly. Then you gain self-efficacy and you're feeling good. And the moment you're feeling good, you're naturally going to want to eat more healthily. You're naturally going to want to get screened. And I don't think we pay enough attention to that triggering effect. And that's why I believe very strongly that physical activity in the place of nutrition and obesity isn't important because it's going to directly lower your calories, because it won't, you know how much you've got to run to get rid of calories, but it's going to change your mindset and give you self-efficacy to do the tougher issues.